What up, world? Waxvillain, Seattle, Washington. You already know what it is. Welcome to 2 Gents Fireside Chat. We got a real one today. Keep it locked. Stevie Fontaine's in the building. We'll kick things off when he joins.
Give me the real thing, baby. Give me the truth. Oh. Give me the real thing, baby.
Shout out to Elaine Prince, my brother Lucky Brown from Seattle.
You fill up my senses.
We got these two.
Your love leaves me breathless. Yes, it does.
Walt, you're in the building. I see you. Adrian Carmine, I see you, my man. Appreciate you.
And I'll give you all of me. It would be so easy.
Appreciate everybody on the line. Kick things off real shortly.
And it would be so easy to play with your time. Darling, I ain't here to boast, and I'm not here to whine. I'm just lucky I get to tell you I'm so glad that you're mine.
Anna Marie in the building. Appreciate you joining.
Real thing, baby. Tell me the truth. Oh. I know you've seen it all before. All I want is you. Oh. You fill up my senses.
I see you, Renee. Appreciate you, brother.
Defenseless. That ain't all. So give me the real thing, baby. And I'll give you all of me. I ain't got no control over what those other men said. And
Gonna have a giveaway real soon. El Triste, Crybaby Adapter. You saw the unboxing earlier.
all I know is I'm here.
I see you.
Standing right here. And all I want is the real thing. I ain't going nowhere. So give me the real thing, baby. Give me the truth.
We got 6 on the line. We're gonna hold a couple more minutes.
Real thing, baby. All of you. You fill up my senses. Your love leaves me.
Appreciate you joining. I see you.
That ain't all. So give me the real thing, baby. Oh, no. Bring me your love. Bring me your love. Bring me.
I see you, Vic. Appreciate you. You see that up there? That's the Philips Hue light. Making it look extra icy. Frozen tears. All right, folks. Hopefully Stevie will be joining shortly. Bad Vic in the building. Appreciate that. I think Stevie's mom joined. I might have to go live with her in a sec if Stevie doesn't join. Hang tight, everybody. Thank you, Vic. Maybe I'll spin something else real quick. Let's see. All right. Chris Lujan, Andre Cruz test press. Real thing. Waxvillain, you saw it first here. Folks, I don't know. I haven't had this happen in a really long time. Usually they join by now. Let's see. The request is sent. Let's see here. We'll try and send that request again. Oh, shit. In the building. All right.
Hello.
My man, how are you?
Doing okay. Pardon my tardiness.
You have me sweating a little bit over here, but I'll make an exception. It's all good.
My bad, dude. My bad.
No,
I
it's all
thought I had
good.
more time than I had.
No. I appreciate you, brother. So listen, we got 9 on the line. If you're ready, we'll go ahead and kick things off.
All right.
Very cool. I want to welcome everybody to Two Gents Fireside Chat. I go by the name of Waxvillain. Fireside chats are similar to interviews. They're slightly different. We do some research, make sure we're not duplicating questions. Most importantly, I'm about driving engagement points, wanting you to be able to connect closer to the musicians that we love so much. Now, I've been given some dreamy introductions lately. I can't do that every time, but I got a really cool story. So I want to say last year around December, I met Stevie Fontaine for the first time. And what was really cool about this is through meeting Stevie, I was able to connect with a couple other people who have become really good friends to me. So I just love how tight the community is. It's a small circle. Everyone knows everyone. But what was really cool out of this whole experience was I got a record from Stevie. Stevie sent me the Norma Jean 45. What was dope about it, I had no idea that Stevie Fontaine was a part of that record. And so for me and for you, if you've seen a lot of the live streams that I kick off on here, a lot of times we can say this about the guest. Well, oh yeah, I know what Brian's voice sounds like. I know what Joey sounds like. But what about the musicians who communicate with us through their instruments? I thought it would be fantastic to bring on Stevie Fontaine, who plays the baritone sax, also a singer-songwriter. Bring him on the platform so that he could talk to us using his words, so we get to hear his voice, his story. And most importantly, I think he's had a rock star year, but I want to be able to use this platform to shine the light on some of Stevie's other works so that, one, when we're listening now, we know because we probably already heard the songs, but I just thought it would be really special to bring someone from The Sinceres, one of the groups that we all love on the show. So without further ado, welcome Stevie Fontaine. Thank you so much for being here, my man.
Thank you very much for having me, sir. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Very cool. I always like to kick things off with a general introduction. So could you tell everyone where you're from, what you do as a musician, and where we've heard your music before?
Absolutely. I am from Corona, California, the Inland Empire, and I am a saxophone player mostly, baritone sax player. I play for the Sinceres, and I recently got into singing, and I have a single called Right Girl, Wrong Time, and that was my jumping off platform with singing. I never considered myself a singer until that came along, and that became a reality thanks to Joey Quinones.
Wow. Okay.
And Secondhand Sounds took a chance on me, absolutely. And both of them, or he played a very huge part in me having that song. So shout out to him and making all of this possible for sure.
Love Joey, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Quick story about Joey. I appreciate Joey so much because I sent him a DM last night at like 2:37 in the morning asking him for something, and he responded. I was like blown away. I couldn't sleep over it. Anyways, what I'd love to know, man, what were you doing before you joined the Sinceres? Take us through memory lane, what you were doing as a musician, or if you were doing something else.
Absolutely. Before I was doing the Sinceres, I was in a 18-piece group called the Wise Guys,
Okay.
big band machine. And I was also in a reggae group called the Ghetto on Fire, the GOP. And I was having a lot of fun with both of those groups. I was having a really good time. The 18-piece group is how the Wise Guys is how I got to know Joey in the first place.
Okay.
My friend JJ Jimenez, the trombone player, who is part of El Domingo, that's his deal. He was the Wise Guys player, and that's how I got to know him. And he took me to his recording with Joey, and that's how I met Joey, and that's how I became a Sincere.
Wow. Okay. Very cool.
It's all connected.
I love it. That's what it seems to be like. When did this become serious? When did you know this is what you wanted to do and make like a lifelong career of it?
It started to become serious as soon as I got introduced to Joe and everyone associated with that, and with the Sinceres and everything like that. When we started to play some real gigs here, playing with some heavy hitters, backing up Trish Toledo, and recently backing up It's Callie Marie from the Lakesiders. A bunch of different people that we've collabed with and worked with. A lot of people seem to dig the stuff that we're putting down, so it's still something that we love very much, but it's become more serious for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
One thing I'm always curious, how did you pick baritone sax? Lots of instruments out there. You could have chosen the drums, you could have played the tambourines, but you chose the baritone sax. Talk to me about that.
Believe it or not, it wasn't my choice in the beginning.
Okay.
I was an alto sax player originally, and to get into the jazz band in middle school, my teacher, shout out to Mr. McGee, he said, if you want to be in jazz band, you got to play the baritone. You got to pick it up and learn it. And at first, I hated it. I was like, this thing is way too big. It's way too heavy. I don't want to take this thing home. It's harder to play. And I fell in love with it. I ended up falling in love with it, took it all the way through high school, took it all the way through college, and it's taken me all the way here. It's taken me all over the place. And I wouldn't trade it for anything, really.
That's fantastic. One of the things I kind of talked about during the introduction is when we hear a voice, we can say, oh, I know who that is. I know their sound. I'd love to know from you, an instrumentalist for the most part, that's the majority of your body of work. Can you describe your sound and maybe what makes your signature style maybe different from another player? Some way that as we're listening, we can say, oh, it's Stevie.
Well, one thing that I guess makes it unique, I'm not the best. If someone asks me like what key that I'm going to be playing in or what this or that is going to be in terms of music, I'm no help there. I don't really know exactly what some of that stuff is, and I just play what sounds good to me and how I could blend myself in to fit in with everyone else that's around me. So that's how I kind of do things. I don't know if that's a unique thing to me or a distinguishing factor, but that's music theory was never my strong suit.
Okay. Talk to me about the transition. You're a session player, you're part of these Sinceres, and then you decide to go on, a jump into the solo lane. And we found out also that was kind of when you first kind of discovered singing and songwriting. That seems
Absolutely.
to be kind of a lot to harness and manage in a very short time and then turn around to 45.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, it all was just a spur of the moment type of thing, just messing around. Joey had this song, or the bones for the song written for Right Girl, Wrong Time. And he had that in his backlog of a ton of songs. He has a ton of songs that he's written that are waiting to have music. So while that was playing, I sat around and I wrote the lyrics to "Right Girl, Wrong Time" at Secondhand Sounds in Rialto, California, and when we wrote the lyrics down and put some words to it, and I started singing to it, that was it.
Wow. Okay. Can you give us insight, maybe a lens into the meaning of the song? I remember, hearing a snip, and I was like, "Wow, what a major song title, right?" And then the lyrics. I feel like that's a page in everyone's book that they can relate to in some capacity. Throughout the chapters of life. I know you said Joey wrote it, but how did you kind of find that character inside to put the pen to paper and sing like you did?
Yeah, and Joey wrote the music to it, and I wrote the lyrics to that.
Okay.
And the lyrics, that story was a girl that I was seeing that I wasn't able to. She wanted something that I couldn't give her at the time. I was still kind of damaged goods from a previous relationship.
Okay.
And she was the right girl at the wrong time. She came into my life.
Wow.
At a time, I couldn't give her what she needed, and it wasn't intentional that I broke her heart that way, but I ended up breaking her heart. Yes, bread. Manajikista ka.
Wow. Wow. That's a really dope insight to me, because I'm always so curious about the meaning behind the lyrics, sometimes even the instrumentation, when there's change ups and so on like that. So in contrast, how are you kind of, fitting that vibe when you're playing the saxophone? Clearly, when the pen's in your hand, it's a different type of experience in the driver's seat. In contrast, can you talk about, again, your role playing the sax in the group?
I mean, with soul or with any kind of music, to express any kind of feeling with it, when you can express it with emotions, with sounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can make it darker, you can make it sad, you can make it happy, you can make it vibrant. That's all I got with that, really. You could express yourself like an artist with a paintbrush could with music.
No, that's fantastic. I'm going to switch pace. When I was doing my homework, I saw that you like records. And we've got a lot of collectors on the line, man. I would love if you could kind of give us some insight to these perks when you're playing on projects, whether it's Coal Mine, Daptone. Maybe you could talk a little bit about the infamous Pink Label records that we all see and kind of go after.
The Pink Labels. Everyone's talking about them Pink Labels. But yeah, some of my favorite records. I love the classic rock. Classic rock is what I grew up on and what my parents grew up on. One of my top favorites is Rubber Soul.
Okay.
By the Beatles. That's hand in hand with Revolver, another excellent album of mine. I love both of those albums. Almost tied as my favorites.
Okay.
Going into more modern. Well, no, this one's one of my dad's here. This is Joe Cocker's Mad Dogs and Englishmen. Shout out to you, Dad. You have a killer record collection too. If you want to get into more jazzy stuff, I've got some Lee Morgan with Pepper Adams and the Cooker.
Oh wow! Okay.
Blue Note stuff. I've absolutely loved jazz. Jazz is outstanding to me. More modern, we're talking some Daptone, with Sharon Jones.
Yeah.
The one that got me into soul, completely into the new wave of soul. I was in college, and JJ Jimenez and another friend, Joshua Salazar, got me into Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings, and that was the very first time I ever heard of Daptone records or anything associated with Daptone records, and I was like, God, that sound is so fucking cool.
Right.
The way that they were able, and whenever I would play it for friends, I would ask them, what year do you think this came out? If you listen to this, what year do you think this came out? He was like, oh, I'd have to say this late 60s, early 70s. And I'm like, nah, man, some of this came out in like 2008. 2009, man.
Yeah.
Like it was unbelievable to hear that kind of sound come out of a modern generation, and to go forward, not listening to that, I never would have guessed I would have been able to record with some of these people like Penrose, being on Daptone, for instance. Like I'm on Norma Jean, as you said,
Yeah.
on the Daptone label. That's another excellent thing that Gabe Roth put together.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, shout out to Charlie Watts. Rest in peace, Charlie Watts. That was a big one today. That really sucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, Penrose has been coming out with some fire stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was lucky enough to get some pinks, and
Okay.
that was a cool little perk of playing on some of these records.
Very nice.
And as it pertains to the pinks, everyone's been asking for, they were intended for us to sell as bands when we were going to do that tour before COVID. Right before COVID happened, we were supposed to do a tour.
That's what they were created for?
That was what their intention was, so that we could sell them on the tour. But now, since all of that has changed, we don't know what's going to happen with them, and we don't know how many of them there are. It's kind of all a mystery, but I know that it's in limited supply and they're very sought after.
Stevie, I'm just in shock right now. That's like exclusive. I don't know if anybody ever knew that before, that it was intended for the show, and then it just kind of became this regular thing that we would see on the gram every now and then. Wow.
And I don't know if I should be even saying that. I'm so sorry.
I won't tell anybody if you don't.
all 17 of you, you better keep your lips sealed.
Yeah. So I got to ask, man, you said your dad was a record collector. Talk to me about the music that you heard growing up, and what was it that stands out? What memories do you have, kind of tied to the music?
Oh, God. Dad listened to Zeppelin. Dad listened to Deep Purple. He listened to he listened to a bunch of, like, Joe Cocker, a bunch of really, really excellent music. Robin Trower. Just so many excellent records that he has. Yeah, man, he keeps a couple of them. He didn't have an extensive record collection.
Yeah,
but every single record is very, very special.
Sure,
very,
no,
very
absolutely.
Special.
Yeah, I always talk about just remembering where I got records at certain times, and what was going on in life around the time that I picked that record up, right? So, as we're getting close to kind of close things out, one of the things that was really important to me, one way that I wanted to use this time was, I'd hope that you would be able to share the music that you've played on that doesn't fall under the Sinceres, so that as us fans, collectors, we can, go out and stream it or search for those 45s.
Absolutely. Let me see what I've got here. I've got a couple of them. I already mentioned Norma Jean.
Yeah, yep.
By Napoleon Demps, and everybody is on that. There's so many different people on that. It's ridiculous.
I heard about that.
Yeah, Anna Marie Castro's on it. Adrian Carmine's on it. Most of the singers associated with the Altons and the Sinceres are on it. A ton of people.
It was a big project.
Yeah, huge project across man. It's really cool thing to be a part of, and I'm really fortunate to be a part of that.
Yeah.
I was a part of the Vatones, featuring with through Noriega. I Was Made to Love You, and that was Bad Vic on the vocals there. Just a monster singer. Jesus Christ. Just such a powerhouse. I was made to love you.
Top of the list.
Absolutely amazing, amazing, amazing.
Joey Q's in the building.
Hey, Joey Q, how goes it? How goes it? My man. I'm trying to think of any other ones. I was part of Alex Santos' orchestra.
Yeah.
We did a cover of Nautilus in Red Clay.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. That shit's fire too.
Yo,
that shit's really,
Nautilus?
yeah. Yeah,
I
man.
don't know if cats know about this.
They might. Well, they know now. If they don't know, now they know. What's cracking, Joey? And what's cracking, Vic?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a keep an eye out for Alex Santos Orchestra. They're
Yes.
putting out some heat right now. There's a couple news songs that's coming out. Oh, Adrian Carmine says that I'm on Mr. Blues, and I don't think that's been released yet. Has that been released yet, Adrian?
We got all
I need
sorts
to,
of exclusives dropping today.
yeah, no kidding. All the goods, the cheese man.
Oh man. So that's really awesome. I think those are great. One, you mentioned artists that we can go find, the songs to go check out. So that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Those are the connection points I'm looking for. I've got two more questions, and I would love it. I love storytelling. Can you share a memory? Maybe it was a recording session with Decent Sears. Maybe it was, a live show. Give us a story related to Coal Mine Daptone that stands out in your mind as something that you'll always remember, something that we would never be able to read about anywhere.
Oh man, I'm trying to think of a Daptone story. I already told the one about listening to it, listening to Naturally and Sharon Jones and Lee Fields, My World, a bunch of all of that stuff. I'm trying to think of anything else related to Daptone that's just outstanding. They're all
Shout
a
out to
great group
Lane
of
Stevie,
individuals.
Boy Raider, Caddy Zach in the building. Go ahead.
Oh, hello, hello. Yeah, I've really got no great. I mean, we all came together and we all went to Penrose Recording Studios in Riverside, California, my stomping grounds, and it was just we had a great time. We got a good story. I showed up and Gabe just got a new organ and he needed help bringing it up a flight of stairs. So a bunch of the Sinceres came down and we helped him carry this giant organ up a flight of stairs. There was no elevators, there was no hoist or nothing. We carried that shit.
Wow. That's pretty
Yeah,
wild.
so there's a Hammond organ up there with a little bit of Fontaine sweat and Quinones sweat and bread sweat.
I love that. Give us one insight. Tell us something about recording with Gabe that just makes the recording process special.
Oh man, Gabe has a way of getting you to play the best
Yep.
that you could play. Because you want to play good for him.
Sure.
He's the type of person that you want to be on your shit for, to be able to hit every single note that you're supposed to hit it in the way that he wants it to be hit. He's an artist. He knows what sounds good, and he's able to get it from you. He'll do it. He'll work with it. He's pretty patient in those things. I remember when I was recording Norma Jean, I was the only one that was there playing Barry, and he was, even when he's not in the room, he's across the building in his control room on the other side of the building, and you talk to him on an intercom. He's got your back in that booth, and he'll tell you exactly how he wants it in a way that you'll be able to understand it. And I appreciated his patience and his feedback. Absolutely.
That's really cool to hear. And you know what? It lines up with what the Altons said when they came on, because I asked them a similar question about what's it like working with Gabe. And they talk about how he's able to kind of make that magic happen. You might spend hours in the studio, but he's able to almost guide you to get to where he, what he hears, what he sees. And that's what the magic, that's how the magic comes out.
He's like the soul Sherpa.
I love that. So listen, man, you've been sitting for a little while. I'm curious to know what's next.
Oh man, there's a couple of different things in the works. We're trying to work on some singles to come out for you guys. I'm trying to get together on my own terms of repress of Right Girl Wrong Time, hopefully in a color variant. Yeah. I'm trying to get you heard it here first. It's going to be like a translucent blue with red spatter. And I'm gonna try to call it cold-blooded.
Ooh, Stevie, I love color variants. You're talking my language right now.
Hey man, I was the only one that didn't have one on that record label, but that's okay.
You know what?
We're gonna.
I remember that, and I saw standard OG black, but I said, you know what? It's Stevie. We're gonna take one for the team. We're gonna cop the OG black vinyl. I had to.
Well, I certainly appreciate it, and a lot of people ended up purchasing that as well. And I appreciate all of you that have supported us and supported me. It's been an experience, that's for damn sure.
Any live shows coming up?
Oh man, the Sinceres, we just played at the Greek Theater on Saturday.
Dope.
And then we did the Hit the Switches event.
Mm-hmm.
That was on Sunday. That was through Hello Stranger.
Yeah.
That was a fun event as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Very
There
cool.
we go.
So this is the exciting part. We get to the lightning round. 10 questions, one-word answers designed to let us know more about you as a person, less as a musician. Are you ready?
All right, let's go for it.
All right, here we go. So number one, colored vinyl or OG black vinyl?
I'm going to say black.
All right. 45 or LP?
45s.
Okay. If Stevie Fontaine had a theme song, what would it be and why?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, man. Oh, what you see is what you get. I don't know.
That works. Okay, let's see here. What's something that you listen to that maybe would surprise us?
Oh, man. What's something that I listen to that would surprise you? Jazz, but here's another great album that I didn't show you guys. This is Sinatra's Live at the Sands with Count Basie. That's another great one.
Okay.
That was more than one word.
That's okay. We got to stretch it a little bit. Let's see here. Favorite thing to eat for breakfast?
Oh, I love me some eggs. I really do.
Eggs works. Let's see here. Recommend a 45 and an LP that we should go check out.
45 and an LP. The hottest one that I could think of, the 45 that I could think of is Nobody's Clown right now.
Yeah.
That's really hot right now. Oh my God.
Smoking.
And LP to look for. Man, I haven't been doing much collecting as of late, but anything Daptone, you can't go wrong there. Oh, hello, Anna Marie. How goes it?
Anna Marie's in the building.
And we've got something that we're starting to write as well, me and Anna Marie.
Really?
Yes.
Stevie, you're dropping a shit ton of exclusives, man.
Absolutely. You heard it here first.
All right. Let's see here. Musicians that inspired you growing up.
Oh, man. James Brown.
Yep.
James Brown is a big one. Sinatra, huge. Louis Prima, another big one. Man. Marvin Gaye, Isaac Hayes. There's a bunch of really good ones out there. There's a lot of inspiration from a lot of those folks.
All right. If Stevie Fontaine was a superhero, what would his superpower be?
Oh, God. Man, to improvise better.
That's one hell of a super talent, I guess. All right, man. If you could see any musician, alive or dead, who would it be and why?
Oh, man, I would probably have to see James Brown live. If I would have to see anybody dead or alive, James Brown, like Tammy Show, like the early stuff. Oh, my God. That would have been such an excellent show to see.
I love that. That's great. Okay. All right. That concludes the lightning round. We completed the fireside chat. Stevie, I want to thank you so much for making time to come through, sit down, and chill with us. Great information here. We learned a lot. Tons of exclusives. I'm blown away. I got to process this all, man.
Well, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure talking to you, man. And it's always great to talk shop and talk records.
All right, my man. Have a great night, and thank you once again. I appreciate everybody on the live staying tuned in. Waxvillain, Seattle, Washington. I'm out.
Take it easy, guys.